So our next presenter is Peter Greenhill. And Peter is a retired founder of the Iolani Peace Institute, where he was its director for 17 years. The Institute frequently collaborates with and supports GIIP, the Gandhi International Institute for Peace. Mr. Greenhill has a degree in philosophy from Princeton University and taught at Iolani School in Honolulu from 1986 to 2021. For his work, he is a recipient of the 2016 award of the International Organization of Human Rights. Though retired now, he continues his activism and promotes peace, social justice, and human rights. So I'd like to introduce you now to Peter Greenhill.
Well, that's a very tough act to follow. Aloha, everyone. First of all, thank you to Dr. Raj Kumar and the Gandhi International Institute for Peace for the honor of speaking here this evening. My name is Peter Greenhill, as you heard. Because I directed the Iolani Peace Institute for 17 years and spent almost my whole adult life as a teacher here, Dr. Kumar asked me to speak about peace education. This is a very difficult topic to talk about because in the world right now, there's a lot of trouble with the state of peace education and with the state of education in general. So if I'm going to speak the truth as I see it on this topic, there'll be both some good news and some bad news. I'll be starting on a positive note, then including comments on some of the harsh challenges that we face in education, and then ending on a positive note. To begin, I will quote not Gandhi at this moment, but the philosopher Aristotle. Oh, thank you. Aristotle said, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." By this definition, we don't currently have true education, and we don't have peace education. It seems clear that most people do not understand the purpose of education, and this is part of the problem. The conventional view of the purpose of education, found at schools all over the US, brainwashes people into believing that education is only meant to help people make as much money as possible, as if material wealth and consumption are their reasons for existing, regardless of the consequences. Unfortunately, this twisted approach to education only turns students into pawns trying to make as much money as they can in a distorted, militarized civilization, rather than turning them into wise beings and active citizens with values like Gandhi's, values such as compassion, empathy, and humility. The conventional view of education has instead created greed, imperialism, violence, corruption, and psychopathic leaders. But the true purpose of education is to help students accomplish three things. This is the true purpose. One is to create beauty in the world. Another is to become contributing citizens who think skillfully enough not to be fooled by the usual propaganda that prevents peace and justice. And the third is to improve the state of the world, especially by relieving suffering. This is what peace education looks like. On this subject, the Indian philosopher Krishnamurti said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. It gives me no pleasure to say that the society we live in is profoundly sick, and that our conventional systems of education are designed merely to help the upper echelon of students become well adjusted to this sick society when they become adults. But that just makes society even sicker. And this sick society ends up serving only the interests of the military-industrial complex, a machine of war run by a tiny number of greedy elites who have hijacked our economic, political, and social systems. Gandhi understood very well that this materialistic view of life that puts unrestrained profit on a pedestal is a morally despicable view and a recipe for unhappiness, suffering, and destruction. This materialistic view is the root of our problems. It is used by the corrupt and avaricious corporations that destroy the lives of millions of people every year. Producing people like the greedy elites who run these corporations is not what education is for. It prevents us from achieving any forms of peace. Peace education, on the other hand, leads us to values like compassion, cooperation, nonviolence, friendship, and love. We have to face the inconvenient truth that what we have now instead is really a system of war education, designed to steer our best and our brightest into fields that serve the war machine. If you don't believe that we have a war education system, just for starters, you should know that the US Pentagon has given at least $100 million to 14 universities to do military research projects, including $1.4 billion to Johns Hopkins University alone. All these problems lead to the massive inequality and human rights violations that we see all over the world. However, and here's the positive note to end on, there is hope. If we make all education peace education, we can solve our problems. To succeed at this, however, we also have to make significant changes to our economic and political systems and to our values. Together, we can make the right changes, and we can make them non-violently. Gandhi proved it in India. May we prove it all over again. Thank you very much.